Hi everyone, this is Krista with Dimensional Healing, and yesterday I was talking about smudging. My healing feather had arrived thanks to my girlfriend Michelle, and so it has a rattle at the bottom. That's what makes it a healing feather for smudging, and so had my shell. So I smudged my house, or at least I should say the holiday house that we're staying in right now. And I had posted that, and some people had inquired or asked questions about smudging and made comment. So I thought I'd show you guys some different things about smudging. Smudging is wonderful because it clears our energy. Personal energy, the energy around us, whether it's in our environment in the house, and it prepares it in some backgrounds. It's for ceremony or for religious rituals, or just for other rituals. You can use it to undo, or I should say even out the energy, especially that around the house, kids, electronics, all that stuff. I always feel a great difference. If I'm around a lot of people, I'll smudge as well. What I have in my little shell right here, these are just leaves. These are all white sage. I prefer to smudge with white sage. I also prefer to smudge and use California white sage. Which is what this is. And then this is my abalone shell, which has become very near and dear to me. Now, you've probably seen some of these in stores and stuff. These are sage sticks. This one's, I think it's 9 inches. And what I do, its brother, which I used already, I actually burned, and I used it as a stick, but I found that it was really difficult to use as a stick. So what I do now is I actually put it into my shell, and I'll just take little bits. You'll have to forgive me, I'm holding my camera with one hand and working this. Here we go. And I'll take little bits and I'll put it in when I can't buy loose leaf sage. I have a source where I get loose leaf sage from California, and so I prefer to use that. Now, another form of smudging that you've seen, or you may have seen, I first saw this when I moved and lived in Japan, and I traveled into China, is incense. We think of incense in the United States as a way to make things smell nice. Well, in Asian cultures in particular, it is actually used in the same way and sense that the Native Americans use white sage. It is to cleanse and clean and clear the spirit in order to prepare it for ceremony. As you can see, I'm a huge fan of both white sage and incense. I just got this recently and stuff, and it's nice. But I burn all sorts of sage depending upon what I am doing, and I use just my little, I think this one may have cost me $3 because it has the little brass stars on it. So those are things I do, or I burn for sage. I'm sorry, burn for smudging. I'm thinking of sage. Now, I am not going to demonstrate with smoke, because in the Native American tradition, as soon as smoke is appearing, that means spirit is with us. And in order to honor them, because you cannot take pictures of spirit in ceremony, I am going to do this and keep this unlit. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain to you what you do in order to smudge. You'll light. I only light one leaf at a time. Now, granted, every now and again you'll get a bunch. You'll get a bunch like this. And so, you just light it, and then I set it in the bowl, And you don't have to have an abalone shell. You can use it. I mean, for a long time, I just used a little plate. I do recommend getting sand, and don't just use sand from a beach. In the bottom, you have to bake it. You know, you want to make sure there are no sand fleas, you know, that sort of stuff. I haven't gone down to the beach to get some sand to prepare it yet, but so I'm using ashes to keep it off my abalone shell. But I will light my leaf, and then I smudge myself first. And how you smudge yourself is very simple. You take the smoke in both hands, and first you bring it up and over your head. And as you're bringing it up and over your head, and you're coming into this space, what you want to think is that, you know, you're clearing your consciousness, you're clearing your mind and your thought to become one with source, or with universe, or God, or however you want to address your higher self. And then you bring it to your eyes, and you bring it to your eyes to clear your eyes so that you see clearly. Then you bring it to your throat so that you speak clearly, so that what the words you say hold meaning and have value, not just to you but to others. And then, of course, you need to clear your ears, because if you aren't listening, you don't know exactly what needs to be heard. And then I always bring the smoke up to my heart chakra, so that I know that I'm coming into this space and I'm coming into my day with an open heart and with gratitude. And then I always go to my solar plexus, which is right below your heart. It's right where your rib cage, V's up to where the sternum is. That's where your solar plexus is. And I bring it there because I want to keep that power energy. Your solar plexus is your powerhouse. And I want to keep that in balance. And so that I am not, it doesn't get too rambunctious and too excited. And then what I do is I bring the smoke and I push it down. And I push it down to my feet. And so that I'm clearing and I'm cleansing all that energy, right? And then, of course, I end it by bringing up and over my head 3 times. 3 is sacred. Remember, 3 is a sacred number. And it really connects you with Mother, Father, Earth. Is that right? Mother, Father, Earth. Yep, you could do that. You can do Father, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Sorry, my brain is... I'm having a moment. Then you have the elements: earth, wind, fire, mind, body, spirit. If you think of it in terms of 3 being a very powerful and sacred number. And then you can also think of it as, in Schoolhouse Rock. My kids keep reminding me, about the song on Schoolhouse Rock, about the number 3, in any case. Just one of those memories. So when you're done cleansing yourself with the smoke, and again, it can be from the sage, or if you don't have sage or you aren't accessible to it, you can do the same thing with the incense. It's just as it serves the same purpose, and it can be as powerful. Now, then you can go and you can clean your house, or clear your house, or clear your space. I'm in the process of getting ready to create a sacred space. It's my homework for Hibiscus Moon, Crystal Academy. And so that's where this is at the moment. It's up where my sacred space is going to be. But you can do it, and I use my feather. When I'm smudging other people, I use it, and then when I smudge my house, I use it. And what you do is you're just pushing the smoke, and you're in and around the house. And for me, when I'm doing this, my intention and my purpose is to bring balance back into my environment. Unless it is, you know, we just had a huge party, or things have been happening when all the boxes are going to be arriving here within the next few weeks. You know, I'll be smudging the house with a different purpose. But typically I'm smudging for balance. And you know, and that's a really good thing. The key places to make sure you get, especially if it's the first time you're smudging your house, open all your doors, drawers, closets, nooks and crannies, and then you just smudge. And you don't have to put the sage or whatever it is you're smudging with up into every corner, but the intent is that you're trying to get the smoke there. And I started off just by waving my hand, and actually I had a little stick. It was a lot smaller than this, and I used this and I waved my hand to get the smoke to go where I wanted it to go. And when I first started using this, I just made the sign of a cross in all my corners, because it's a sacred symbol, and throughout every culture, a cross is a very sacred symbol. So that's what I did in order to bring balance back into our environment and back into the house. Now, when all else fails, in terms of you're like, I need to do this right now, and I don't have any white sage, and I don't have any incense. Well, one of the things you can do is you can use sound also. Now, I have these Tibetan bells, and I'll use that. Well, see? Sound is also a really good vibration to bring in and help clear and smudge the energy. You can do it also just by clapping your hands all around the house. And that will change up the energy. It will bring the positive vibe, or, you know, balance out the energy if you have too much of one or the other. But that's a different, that will be a different little video that I'll do. So I hope I answered your questions, or I at least helped you out a little bit. If you have any other questions, concerns, or you just want more clarification, go ahead and message me, and I'll look forward to answering them. Thanks so much. Blessings.